This is the Intercontinental Broadcasting Corporation. Sa bagong Pilipinas.
Ano yan? Duwag 11? Ano ba yan? Bulaga 11? That should not be shown here. Because what will stop us now, Madam President, for that lady senator, that we come up also with a propaganda video here, papalabas din namin, yung mga sala nila. Oo, kung ano-ano, hindi naman kami ganyan.
I really take offense. I vehemently deny. Definitely, I have nothing to do with that.
People are still missing after an under-construction building collapsed in Angeles City, Pampanga. Rescue teams continue their relentless search, digging through the rubble until every individual is accounted for.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. personally visits fire victims in Manila, extending cash assistance to affected families.
Breaking news tonight, the Ombudsman asks the Sandigan Bayan to issue a precautionary hold departure order against Senator Rodante Marcoleta and 3 others.
And defense, security, trade, and investment deals set to be on the agenda as President Marcos Jr. departs for Japan tomorrow. All these and more here on 13 News.
Good evening, I am William Thio. We are bringing you the day's top stories that shape the country, straightforward, clear, and concise.
I'm Angela C. Under one flag with 3 mandates to inform, explain, and empower the nation. This is
13 News. First in the news tonight, a heated debate erupted in the Senate after Senator Amy Marcos presented a video alleging charter change. The footage suggested term extensions, claims swiftly rejected by the minority bloc.
Senators moved to strike the video from the record, a motion Senator Marcos later accepted. The full details from IBC News correspondent Danielle Manalastas.
A video alleging possible charter change or amendment of the 1987 Constitution presented by Senator Amy Marcos implicated Senator Tito Soto. The footage suggested term extensions and changes to presidential age requirements, claims the Senate minority bloc strongly opposed.
Ano yan? Duwag 11? Ano ba yan? Bulaga 11? At grade 13? That should not be shown here. Because what will stop us now, Madam President, for that lady senator, that we come up also with a propaganda video here, papalabas din namin, yung mga sala nila. Oo, kung ano-ano, hindi naman kami ganyan.
I really take offense. I take exception to what was presented. But I don't care about what the other mention or the other things that were mentioned. But as far as the issue of my involvement in Chacha is concerned, I vehemently deny. Definitely, I have nothing to do with that.
Minority senators even made clear they are against Chacha. Senator Kiko Pangilinan said it is imperative to show only facts and not disinformation propaganda.
Self-serving, term extension, Noel, etc. These are lies, Mr. President. At least in this plenary hall and in this chamber, the Senate did not entertain charter change under my watch as chairman of the Committee on Constitutional Amendments.
30 years na po ako sa media. Kapag ako po or anybody from the media, professional, legit, hindi yung house show, pag nag-expose, gumawa ng expose, binabaka pa niyan ng video related doon sa expose, hindi yung gawa-gawa, hindi yung katang-isip, hindi yung opinion.
So, paano nabuo yung istorya? Nakatakot-takot pa yung mga video. Wala pong katotohanan. Kaya nung na-interview po ako ng media, sabi ko, outright lies, flat lies. Kasi hindi po totoo na napag-usapan doon na itaas yung edad, yung qualifying age, pagtapo ng presidente sa vice-presidente from 40 to 50 para ma-disqualify.
The minority bloc moved to strike the video from Senate records, but Senator Amy later agreed to withdraw the presentation. Meanwhile, coup rumors remain, but both camps insist they have solid numbers.
Buo yung 13, sa 13 walang unsihan.
Magkakaroon lang ng kasiguruhan kapag sigurado na yung mga puwersang kikilos. So, but as of now, at least I can assure you, solid ang 11.
Minority senators are pushing for Senator Gatchalian to replace Cayetano. Daniel Malalastas, IBC News.
The Office of the Ombudsman is seeking a precautionary hold departure order against Senator Rodante Marcoleta and 3 others. This is in connection with plunder and indirect bribery complaints involving 75 million pesos in campaign donations. IBC News correspondent Juan Antonio reports.
The Office of the Ombudsman has filed a precautionary hold departure order against Senator Rodante Marcoleta, former Congressman Mike Defensor, and businessmen Joseph Espiritu and Aristotel Viray. This in connection with the plunder and indirect bribery complaint recommended by the Field Investigation Bureau of the Ombudsman over 75 million peso in campaign donations. Documents obtained by the IBC News shows that the anti-graft court has scheduled an ex parte hearing tomorrow, raffled to the 7th Division. Meanwhile, the legal department of the COMELEC is expected to issue subpoena against Defensor, Espiritu, and Viray.
Yung Comelec Law Department, anytime pwede mag-issue na yun ng tinatawag ng subpoena para pasagutin naman yung mga donors doon sa aligasyon laban sa kanila ng Political Finance and Affairs Department natin.
COMELEC is also ready to assist the Ombudsman by submitting relevant documents. The complaint stemmed from Marcoleta's admission that he received 75 million pesos from 3 donors in 2025 ahead of the elections. Juan Antonio, IBC News.
The Supreme Court has released its resolution denying Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa's petition for a temporary restraining order. According to the court, de la Rosa's request seeking to stop the implementation of the arrest warrant issued by the International Criminal Court lacks merit. Meanwhile, the Philippine National Police said it has yet to receive a formal request to revoke the senator's firearm licenses. The PNP assured it will take immediate action once the National Bureau of Investigation issues the request.
The palace presented a report on a 50 million peso shabu seizure in Davao City, countering Davao City's Mayor Baste Duterte's claim that illegal drug activities have resurged under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s administration. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro emphasized that the administration's anti-drug efforts remain effective without resorting to extrajudicial killings. She also noted that Davao City continues to be among the country's top drug seizure sites, questioning the credibility of the previous administration's war on drugs campaign.
Hindi po ba sakop niya ito? Kaya nga po, bakit sa Davao City ay may nahuhuli kung naging epektibo po yung sinasabi nilang war on drugs?
During his visit to Manila, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ordered key government agencies to work together in providing cash assistance and other support for fire victims in Binondo. The president also spearheaded the opening of a long-delayed pumping station project in Tondo. The full report from IBC News correspondent Cristal Ramizares.
Dahil tayong binibigay na food pack at bukod daw ang 10,000 na assistance para na rin po may
Through the joint efforts of government agencies, fire victims from the Parola compound received no less than 40,000 pesos in cash assistance as part of their recovery fund. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. personally announced this during his visit to the Dalpan Evacuation Center, where he also inspected the distribution of relief items. In addition to the cash aid provided by the Manila LGU, the DSWD together with the National Housing Authority extended financial assistance to help families rebuild their homes.
Yung inanunsyo ng ating Pangulo na 10,000 cash relief assistance galing sa AINGS ng DSWD, then 30,000 ay galing sa National Housing Authority, pang-rebuild na yun, pang-recovery na yun.
More than 2,500 families were affected by the fire, which took 55 fire trucks to fully extinguish. For now, residents will temporarily stay at the Delpan Evacuation Center under the care of the Manila Department of Social Welfare. President Marcos Jr. also visited the Sunog Apog Pumping Station in Tondo. After 6 years of rehabilitation, the facility is now operational.
Mabuti, naayos natin, nagkakaproblema, rineklamo po ng tao, tinignan po natin, pinag-aralan natin, ngayon naayos na po natin. Kaya yan ang naging progress dito sa Sunog Apog.
The long-delayed project had previously caused heavy flooding in nearby communities.
Hindi na-maintain ng tama, hindi na dedredge. Yung basura, hindi nagilinis, kaya nagkabara-bara. Tapos, ang isa pang nalaman natin, all these years, 6 na taon na, hindi pa nakakonekta sa Meralco to.
The President has directed the fast-tracking of rehabilitation works for other pumping stations across Metro Manila ahead of the rainy season. Cristal Ramizares, IBC News.
Under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s expanded 4PH program, many families in Nueva Ecija secured affordable housing units during the Palayan City Township Open House. Around 60 homebuyers were able to avail of Pag-ibig housing loans on the spot. The township offers around 2,152 condominium units with amenities such as a clubhouse, swimming pool, and basketball court. New homeowner Donna Ramos shared how the program greatly helped her acquire a house at an affordable rate.
Papasalamat kami sa proyektong to, sa magandang programa ng Pangulo at ng Pag-ibig. Karoon na kami ng security sa sarili naming bahay na ito ay magiging sa amin.
The low-pressure area being monitored outside the Philippine area of responsibility now has a higher chance of developing into a tropical depression within the next 24 hours. The weather disturbance was last spotted 1,550 kilometers east of northeastern Mindanao. Meanwhile, the trough of the LPA will continue to affect the rest of Mindanao, bringing scattered rains and thunderstorms. Other parts of the region will be affected by the southwesterly wind flow, while easterlies will bring isolated rain showers over eastern Visayas. The rest of the country, meanwhile, will be affected by localized thunderstorms. Despite the rainy Monday, 49 areas still reached danger level heat index. Temperatures in Sangli Point, Cavite City soar up to 48 degrees Celsius in Metro Manila. The heat index reached around 45 degrees Celsius.
When we return, the DSWD provides cash aid to victims of the collapsed building in Pampanga. Stay tuned. This is 13 News.
Tiwala si Pangulong Marcos Jr. na pamumunuan ni incoming Acting Secretary Tolentino Andole dahil sa kanyang kakayahan at malawak na karanasan sa paghawak ng mahalagang tungkulin sa pamahalaan lokal o nasyonal.
Pangarap mong maging milyonaryo? Sa PCSO Lotto, magkakatotoo. Mas pinasaya, mas pinabongga, mas pinalaki ang mga jackpot prizes. Araw-araw ang bola, kaya more chances of winning sa PCSO Lottery Draws. Lunes hanggang Linggo, tuwing 2 p.m., 5 p.m., and 9 p.m. Balitang nakala.
Mamulat ng kanyang mga si Presidente at si
Binantayan. Sinuri. Nilatag at inihayag. 13 sa tanghali. Kasama sina Greg Gregorio, Naj Miravalles at Zai Chua. 13 sa tanghali sa ganap na alauna dito sa IBC 13. Are you ready to open your mind? We're tackling topics others won't.
There should always be that collaboration between families, the communities, the school.
Most of the household, ayaw nilang pag-usapan anything about sex.
Or parang parang na-attract sila dun sa industry namin. Tigil yan.
It's time to stop the stigma and start the science.
Because here on Naked Minds, we break the silence.
Naked Minds, every Friday, 10 p.m. on IBC 13.
Heads up, motorists! Oil companies will implement price hikes effective tomorrow. Gasoline is up by 1 peso and 60 centavos per liter, diesel by 1 peso and 96 centavos per liter, and kerosene by 1 peso and 45 centavos. Search and rescue operations continue after a 9-floor under-construction building collapsed in Angeles City, Pampanga. As of tonight, dozens have been saved, but several remain missing as officials rush aid to survivors. IBC News correspondent Victor Lantino reports.
Heavy equipment is now on site to clear the rubble in Balibago, Angeles City, Pampanga. For families waiting nearby, however, the process feels painfully slow. Easter Samson rushed to the site, hoping her sister and brother-in-law would be found alive.
Humihingi po kami ng tulong na sana mapadali po ang proseso ng pagligtas ng mga natabunan, especially yung may mga pamilya pong umaasa na mabubuhay pa ang kanilang mga mahal sa buhay. Mr. President, sana po makarating po sa inyo ito.
The Bureau of Fire Protection says 26 people have been rescued so far. Sadly, 4 people have died, including a Malaysian national. 17 are still missing. Rescue efforts are hampered by the absence of a clear list of workers. Mayor Carmelo Jun Lasatin II has urged the building contractor to help identify those still trapped.
Yung mga trabahante po nila, wala po tayong listahan. So yung mga nakuha natin impormasyon is galing dito sa foreman po nila.
Following President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s directive, DSWD Secretary Rex Gatchalian visited the site today and announced 10,000 peso cash aid for each affected families.
So the cash relief assistance is really meant immediately to be distributed so that makabuelo yung pamilya. We don't want them going hungry.
The DSWD will also roll out livelihood programs to help victims rebuild their lives. While financial assistance offers some relief, the priority remains saving lives. Rescuers are determined to keep digging until everyone is found. Victor Liantino, IBC News.
The House prosecution panel is still awaiting the official response of Vice President Sara Duterte 5 days after she received the writ of summons from the Senate. Under the rules, VP Sara has only 10 days to respond, with prosecutors hoping for a more substantive defense after earlier reliance on procedural arguments. Despite rumors of another possible Senate leadership shakeup and concerns over the credibility of some senator judges, prosecutors said their readiness and morale remain unchanged.
Senate leadership is a matter that the senators will have to decide on. So we can work with any Senate leadership po. Kasi ultimately, we will have to present our case to each and every senator po.
Meanwhile, Malacanang maintained its stand to strictly avoid interfering with the Senate impeachment trial. Palace press officer Claire Castro emphasized that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will not give any prejudgment, while evidence must be fully disclosed in the trial. Castro also said that the president will not tolerate state corruption, regardless of political alliances.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., together with First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos, is preparing for his upcoming visit to Japan tomorrow. The president is expected to meet with the Japanese Prime Minister and other prominent figures as the two nations work to further strengthen ties. IBC correspondent Harley Valbuena has the full report.
Agreements on defense and security, as well as trade and investments between the Philippines and Japan, are anticipated as President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos embark on a state visit to Japan from May 26 to 29. According to the Department of Foreign Affairs, the President and the First Lady will be granted an audience with Japan's Emperor and Empress. President Marcos Jr. is also scheduled to hold a bilateral meeting with Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi, where discussions will focus on the West Philippine Sea dispute.
Gusto nating mapagtatag o deeper ang collaboration natin on operational cooperation in maritime and security areas. Kasama na dito ang information sharing, ang pag-collaborate po ng ating defense agencies, and ang transfer po ng defense equipment.
In light of the ongoing Middle East crisis, the DFA noted that talks will also cover the possible utilization of Japan's $10 billion assistance to ASEAN countries under the Power Asia Initiative, which may be used to purchase oil and other energy resources.
Ang layunin natin ay to diversify our sources para sa oil at hindi tayo masyadong umasa.
The president will also meet with Japanese business groups. The Filipino community in Japan will likewise have the opportunity to meet and interact with the president. The DFA estimates that around 340,000 Filipinos are currently living or working in Japan. Harley Valbuena, IBC News.
OPM singer Mackie just dropped his Habang Buhay Pansamantala official music video featuring SB19 member Justin. The music video explores love and cosmic connection through an apocalyptic display. The SB19 member made a surprise appearance as Mackie's love interest. Another scene that captured the fans' attention was the animation towards the end. On his personal page, Mackie emphasized that no artificial intelligence was used and all artworks were made by Filipino artists.
After nearly a year of excessive preparations, the Palarong Pambansa 2026 officially held its jam-packed opening ceremonies in Agusan del Sur. And for the first time ever, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has announced a good news for the student athletes for the said event. The full report from Josh Yusay.
Breathtaking and colorful. The opening of the 2026 Palarong Pambansa in Agusan del Sur left everyone in awe. With the team Unlocking the Future Through Sports, more than 11,000 student athletes from different regions proudly marched, set to compete in 30 sporting events. Competitions will run from today, May 25 to 30, across venues in the province's 138-hectare government center. Day 1 features athletics, baseball, basketball, boxing, chess, softball, swimming, table tennis, taekwondo, tennis, volleyball, and the exclusive athletics para games. In a video message, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. expressed enthusiasm for the grand opening and shared good news for student athletes.
Sa kauna-unahang pagkakataon, maglalaan ang Philippine Sports Commission ng mga incentive para sa mga medalista sa regular sports at sa para games bilang pagkikilala sa inyong husay. Alam ko na gagawin ninyo ang lahat ng inyong makakaya Ngunit huwag ninyong kalimutan, mag-enjoy na rin. Marami kayong matututunan sa palarong ito na madadala ninyo kahit saan man kayo magpunta.
The president also urged the young athletes to embrace discipline, good sportsmanship, and respect. Josh Yusay, IBC News.
Authorities are racing to contain the chemical leak from a manufacturing facility in California. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump wants a tighter security at the White House after another shooting incident. This and other developments across the globe from Holy Bakay's report.
Only for the two sides to remain far apart.
In the U.S., a journalist was seen taking cover after 30 to 40 gunshots were heard at the White House over the weekend. The Secret Service responded and killed the 21-year-old gunman. Following the incident, U.S. President Donald Trump stressed the need for tighter White House security. On his Truth Social account, Trump revealed the gunman had a violent history, including past encounters with the Secret Service. In California, about 50,000 residents are under evacuation orders after a chemical leak from a 7,000-gallon gas tank. Officials and experts are working to prevent a potential explosion. A wave of Russia's hypersonic missiles struck Ukraine overnight, killing at least 4 people and injuring more than 100. Several buildings, including the National Chernobyl Museum, were destroyed. Russia's defense ministry said the attack was retaliation for Kiev's strikes on civilian infrastructure in Moscow. NASA has delivered fresh supplies to the International Space Station, all thanks to the Dragon capsule of SpaceX. In the video, it was seen passing over the Himalayas, China, and the Pacific Ocean. Holy Bakay, IBC News.
And here are the results of the 9 p.m. draws from the PCSO. For the Mega Lotto 645, the winning numbers are 21, 13, 43, 28, 5, and 17 with a jackpot price of 25,359,201 pesos and 44 centavos. For the Grand Lotto 655, the winning combination is 48, 42, 23, 18, 55, and 33 with a jackpot price of 45 million pesos. For the 4D Lotto, the winning combination in exact order is 1, 9, 5, and 7. For the 3D Lotto, the winning numbers are 2, 8, and 5. And finally, for the 2D Lotto draw, the winning numbers are 28 and 5. There is no winner for the Mega Lotto 645 and Grand Lotto 655. And tomorrow, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos will have their first state visit to Japan until the 29th of May. After having courtesy calls in the palace with Japanese officials, the president will be ready to have bilateral meetings with the Japanese Prime Minister. The meeting's top agenda will be the country's national security and energy resiliency.
Also tomorrow, Icelandic singer Leve returns to Manila. Fans are in for an evening of jazz and classical music as the Manila Philharmonic Orchestra joins the singer on stage. Her A Matter of Time tour will run from May 26 to May 27. I'm looking forward to this concert. I missed it last time she was here. She has a lot of fans in the Philippines.
Yes, her voice is very sultry. It's quite different from a lot of other singers,
yes,
right?
I do think she made a big contribution to the younger generation's appreciation of jazz.
Yes. Okay, and those were the latest from the IBC Newsroom this evening.
We'll continue to monitor the stories that matter and bring you updates as they develop. I'm Angela C.
And I'm William Thio. This is 30 News. Good night, everyone.